welcome to another episode and edition of the Fight Factory podcast right here on Premier Wrestling. It is Dave Sturchio. It is Tommy Dee with his Hawaiian shirt. It's Hawaiian shirt day here at the studio. Nobody else got the memo, me nor Shay. Shay back in the building.
Start of the summer, baby.
It is officially the unofficial start of summer. We hope you guys enjoyed your Memorial Day. I know we all did. We all took a nice little reset. I don't know what you did. What did you do on Memorial Day?
Worked outside.
I don't give a shit. No.
Worked outside, man.
You know, I thought about you.
Ready for the summer?
I thought about you the other day because I was weeding. And I was like, man, would I like that blowtorch that Tommy was.
Man.
Tommy sent us a video of him with a brand new toy. It's a blowtorch that just weeds everything.
It's not a blowtorch.
What is it?
It is a flamethrower. That is the name of it. It is a flamethrower.
All right, Darby Allin over here just lighting things on fire.
Yeah,
so
I was the inspiration for that.
Oh, of course.
That's the one good thing that he did was set the little shitbird on fire. But we'll be talking about that in a little bit.
We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But, of course, we want to tell you guys that we're coming to you live from the Richard Lucas Chevy and Subaru studio in Matawan, New Jersey. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting us through and through. I know we took a 1 week break, hiatus. Look, it was like the time of the month for me. I was just like, I can't do it. So there's a lot going on, right? We got the war on the shore. It's going to be June on Saturday. So now I'm just like, okay. All right.
We're a month away.
Now it's like, okay, do we sure we want to do this? We should just cancel everything. It's getting very close. We're very excited. All the talent is booked. The card is stacked. Everything's good. Sponsors in place. This, that, and the third. There's really nothing else for us to really do in relations to like the show itself. But now it's the setup process. It's the making sure that things are in place. And I just texted you guys earlier. I was like, hey, how are we going to take walk-up traffic? You know what I mean? Like, because there will be walk-up traffic. According to Big Trouble Ben Bishop, he will be walking the boardwalk with Nikki the Good, recruiting people to come in to the show. And would you not listen to a 6'12", 1/3 of a metric ton, 1/4 of a metric? Anyway,
I think it was 1/5 or something.
Something of a metric ton. You would definitely watch those guys.
The funny thing is, though, he's going to look like he's walking with his son.
Right.
You know?
Those guys, listen, those guys have a shtick that I've grown accustomed to really, really taking appreciation to.
Yeah.
And I talked to Nick on the side, and I said, look, man, I was like, thanks for all the publicity. He's like, bro, we're treating this like our WrestleMania. Like, this is the biggest show that we've done collectively because it's like, listen, Ben Bishop is a phenomenal worker. He's a big man worker, much like your Kevin Nashes of the world with two good quads. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a good worker. And his personality, his skits are just...
Oh, he's hysterical.
Chef's kiss. He's hilarious.
I usually hate going on Twitter because...
Twitter's a dangerous place.
It just annoys the shit out of me. When I see them posting, especially about our stuff,
it's great. It's great.
Even before we booked them.
Right. And that's part of it. It was just like a constant, hey, we're in the main event, right? Hey, we're going to win the title, right? You know? So it's
get my
like,
20-minute promo, right?
Yeah. Nikki the Good wants a 20-minute promo. He's more than welcome to do that.
He could do it right at 5 o'clock.
Right. On the pre-show, we'll give you the whole ring. You could sit there and be the MC for the whole fucking thing. But I do also want to give a shout out to Absolute Eyewear getting involved each and every week with the Fight Factory. Craig and Janine. And, of course, those guys are now selling the Rex specs, or they're promoting those because apparently pickleball is a thing where people like to play pickleball.
Oh, is it one of those things that like...
Yeah, like a Horace Grant type situation. Like, you don't want to lose an eye, so head on over to Absolute Eyewear if you say Fight Factory, Dave Sturchio, or Chop Studios, or even Jimmy Palumbo for that matter, and nobody knows who that is. Yeah. You can get $100 off frames and lenses, so
if you
check
say
that
Tommy
out.
D, you get thrown out.
Yeah, basically. We also want to give a special shout out to Santiago Sports. I'm loving his new content he puts out there because he's going to these card shows and trade shows, and it's just like the money that gets filtered in and out is like, I want to throw up because it's just like one guy comes up, he's like, I'm looking for 1850, and he's like, I'll give you 17. I'm like, it's for a fucking card. Like, what are we doing here? You know, to Tom Brady mint rank 10, and I'm like, holy shit.
My boss at my shoot job, he spends all his time.
This guy with the shoot job
on the
Payne would kick you right in the dick for saying that, but go ahead.
It's the truth.
You should say your daytime job.
Well, we're here during the day, aren't we?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Keep going.
He spends half the time on that WhatsApp just buying cards, and then he goes and gets them graded. He's got these briefcases filled with graded cards. I'm like, what are you doing?
So,
What are you doing?
It's a hell of a hobby. It is called The Hobby for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not a hobby because Santiago made it a career. He's got a store right down the street from this studio. So go check out Santiago Sports. He's got a great collection of vintage wrestling shit, too. Some shirts you haven't seen since like the mid-90s are over there. And I've actually...
And in Payne's Closet.
And in Payne's Closet. Payne has raided that place as well. Superbird Tequila, right above me right here, is our boy Tommy Tequila and Superbird. I actually sampled their care package. It's actually Comos. I believe it's the father brand. I was talking to Tommy about it. I was like, this isn't Superbird, right? He's like, no, that's the parent company. Then you got Superbird. The parent company, smooth. Yeah. I'm not a tequila guy, but
I'm a tequila guy.
I'm starting to be.
I love my tequila.
Oh, man. That stuff, I said, what do you mix it with? He goes, no.
Yeah, no.
You don't mix that with anything. You put that shit on the rocks and you
You
enjoy.
you really shouldn't have to mix tequila. Tequila is
But
either...
I need flavor. That's just me. I need some kind of flavor in my life. Anyway,
Oh, boy.
go check those guys out as well. And of course, RMJ Environomics. Tommy, what do they do?
They test soil. They look for underground oil tanks and things like that. Test boring.
Okay, because I don't have a fucking clue, and I've done my research, but Tommy is in the field as well in his shoot job.
That's right, my
he's
shoot
in.
job.
He's in
Hey,
that.
wait a minute. I am technically in the business a little bit, so I
Will
can...
you stop with that?
Hey,
Guy manages one dude, one match,
Hey.
and all of a sudden he's in the business.
Hey.
Don't even. I'm telling you, say that kind of shit to a veteran, like a moth or something like that. He'll smack the taste out of your mouth for saying you're in the business. And of course,
I'm outside of it. Like right there.
for the last week, madcatbeardcare.com. I want to thank Mad Cat Beard Care for being a sponsor of this show. As their contract ends, they won't be renewing. It's nothing personal. He's still going to sell my products. So if you want to check out madcatbeardcare.com, that promotion will still be a thing. Hit premiere at the end. You get 15% off. You look, just as fucking ugly as I am. And of course, Shay, hit me with the mutts and the pups, right? So we have a new sponsor of the show. This is pretty badass because, listen, I'm a dog guy. I'm a cat guy. I'm an animal lover. And these guys are a full-service dog walking, babysitting, or dog sitting. I say babysitting. I don't like the people that say...
Dogs are their kids?
Yeah. Until you have kids... Please stop. Just
Well,
don't. They're going to be like, well, I'm a
people
paw
can't.
dad or a paw mom. And it's like,
I've always noticed that the people that say that are the ones that can't have kids. So
all right, well, look, I'm not getting physiological and shit. If you're unable to have kids, yes, go get yourself a dog because they're great. But anyway,
some people
Surge,
shouldn't have kids and should just have a dog.
I agree. Should have been swallowed long time ago. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. What we will tell you is go check out Surge.
You actually got Shade to laugh.
You like that?
Shade never laughs. That got her to laugh.
Hey, listen. I am. And Tommy, I got a question for you about mutts and is it? What's it?
Mutts and pups.
I knew that. Mutts and pups. I got a question for you. Any unusual breeding?
Yeah. We once bred a bulldog and a shih tzu.
We called it a bullshit. And no, just mostly doggy style. So anyway, those are the sponsors. Got that out the way.
She has no idea what that's from either. That's the best part.
That's the worst part. That is the worst part. Do you know what that's from?
No.
God damn it. And it's not like I'm old either. That's not an old thing. You're just not cultured, Shay, at this point. I'm convinced that mom and dad don't let you watch anything. Anything. It's annoying.
I'll take
I bet she watches CSI and all that other stuff.
See, that's what she goes to school for. Fine. Like that's all the cool shit. Like I'll watch those shows all day. I'll watch Law and Order until I'm fucking blue in the face. But culture yourself. Go home tonight and watch Dumb and Dumber. The original.
Okay.
Okay? That's your homework assignment. Report
After
back.
the Rangers game.
After the Rangers go. Oh, don't give me stuff. And now Tommy knows. Can't text Dave during the hours of 8:30 and fucking 11.
See, the problem with you is you haven't lost a significant amount of money betting on one game to where this stuff just doesn't ruin your day anymore. I lost the last $2,000 I had on that Raiders Super Bowl. Right after my accident, the last of my sign-on bonus from the Army. It was going to set my year up because
against the Bucks?
Yeah. It was going to set my year up
fucking old are you,
to not
Tommy?
work. It was going to set my year up to not work since I was going to be in the chair. And I watched $2,000 go down the drain, and a whole lot of alcohol went down that night.
Yeah. Alcohol is what he'll say. It's a family show.
So these things just don't crush me anymore.
They crush me because I'm a diehard fan. Ooh, speaking of fan, guess what? Go check out my fandom on wrestling, Premier
segue.
Wrestling. Yeah, it's a phenomenal segue. Shay's been working on my fandom. I've been working diligently.
Oh, that's why it
on
doesn't
my
work
fandom.
anymore, because Shay's been doing it.
I thought I broke it.
Yeah, she thought
yesterday. I got so
she was
scared.
adding an event and she duplicated it and she's like, and like just realized that the whole thing just went up in smoke. No, but listen, big things coming to the My Fandom app. And it's going to be great. It's no longer going to be just wrestling, which I'm so fucking pumped about. Shay, have you seen any of those posts that I've been making via the foosball?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna be everything. And Josh and Co. Fred Chernoff, Freddie Prinze Jr. Everybody's been working diligently behind the scenes. Calvin Mangle, all those guys.
Nick
shout out
Mangold?
to Nick Mangold. That's Mangold. This is Mangold.
Oh.
Mangold was the one who actually landed us our first sponsor with New York Life. So Mangold has been
Nice.
a phenomenal supporter of Fight Factory Wrestling, which presents right there the War on the Shore going down July the 16th. It's a Tuesday night. I know what you're thinking. Why a Tuesday? Well, because that's what we want to fucking do. And that's what we were given. So
Yeah, that's what we'll go with.
we'll go with that. No, listen, it's going to be a great day. Tickets are moving front, second row, sold out. Bring your own beach chair if you're on the general admission. And not talking about one of those layout beach chairs where you can catch rays and then watch the wrestling. I'm talking about like a tailgate chair or something small. Don't be a douche. Or I will have security, a.k.a. Blaine, come get you. Our guy Blaine is also heavily invested in the show. He's been helping out tremendously as well. So a lot going down. We'll get more into detail maybe next week with Officer Payne, who is on assignment right now. He's
That's
hustling
why our
the streets.
sign's not lit. He didn't leave the remote here. So.
Well, not even that. He's just, he also didn't pay the electric. So, so they shut it off. But yeah, so that's that. A lot of wrestling. Went down over.
Yeah, it was a great weekend for wrestling.
It really was.
And I think both events were actually really good.
I think both events absolutely delivered.
Until I went on Twitter.
Until you went on Twitter. It's a dangerous, dark place after a wrestling event, no matter if it's good or bad. They're going to tell you it sucked. And
No. It's
there's
not that.
positive reviews somewhere along the line?
It's this is why WWE sucks, because it's just like right there you're going to lose me.
You lost me too.
It was a great weekend for wrestling. Just leave it at that.
Shall we start with our new kings and queens of the ring?
I told you Gunther was going to win.
Gunther did win. Great match. Great run to get there.
Yeah. And
I think you needed two heels to win these events. Because again, for me, it's hard for me to get behind like a baby face carrying around a crown. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
I think the only one that worked for me the most was Brett.
Yeah, because look, it made Stone Cold who he is, right? Who name the other King of the Rings if you think about it? Bret Hart, you
Stone Cold,
said.
Owen.
Owen Hart was a heel.
King Booker.
King Booker was a heel.
Did Triple H win King of the Ring?
No, I think he was just the King of Kings, just self-proclaimed. I don't remember if he won King of the Ring, but from memory, the Kings of the Ring have been heels. The majority.
I think Brett was the first one, wasn't he?
I believe
because
so.
Then after that, he started his feud with Jerry Lawler.
Yes, because the two kings, this, that, and the third. Remember that Kiss My Foot match? Jerry Lawler spent like 3 weeks of television showing everybody how he hasn't washed his foot in 3 weeks because once he wins, he's going to shove it right down his throat. And guess what happened? Bret Hart took his foot and shoved it in his own mouth. So that was fun. Wrestling nostalgia. If you watch that, you can log it on My Phantom. So those, the Queen of the Ring.
I was satisfied with
Nia, listen, miss, dear, please, for all that's holy, just grab the top ropes when you're going to do this fucking bonsai drop. You're going to kill somebody. Like, what she does is dead weights that poor girl, and she could have been put through the earth. And you know what the best meme I've seen is the one where she lands on her and then all the rings pop out of her like Sonic. You know what I mean? Like, it was brutal. And I was like, oh my God, she killed her. But again, great tournaments both ways.
It must not be upsetting the person in the ring or those in the back.
She's too new to say anything.
Who
she beat.
They could even, but you've said this about other people that she's been in there with, Rhea and stuff like that.
I mean, again, Becky Lynch loses the championship to Rhea,
Which was a smart-
to Liv.
Which was a smart move.
Yeah, and now because her contract's up, and now she's going to take a little extended leave.
No, not even just because of the contract is up. It goes with the story of Rhea, the Liv Revenge Tour.
Yeah, no, it does.
The Revenge Tour doesn't end until she goes up against Rhea. Now, if Liv wins over Rhea, I'm going to be like, well, what are we doing here? I don't.
Would you be so surprised?
A little bit.
On a comeback match, truth. But like something has to happen. I'm still convinced that Rhea's not hurt. Like that was just a hey,
I don't
take a
think
vacay.
so,
You've
because,
been kicking ass and taking names.
Because her and Buddy Matthews have been taking quite a few pictures together.
Time out.
You're talking about the beach one?
Time out. First of all, phenomenal. Second
Yes.
of all, you fucking basement dwelling, AI loving goobers. You're disgusting. It wasn't disgusting. You're disgusting. They removed the man's head so you can see a full shot of the girl's ass. They AI'd his head off to remove. Like, how desperate can you be? The internet's a real thing, and you can go and Google anybody's ass, right? You can. But to do that, that means you took time out of your day or night at 2 a.m. while you got Cheetos all over your chest to do like, hey, Google, can you remove fucking Buddy Matthews from this fantastic heart-shaped butt? And sure enough, they did it. Again, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I'm like,
But
where are we going with this?
I'm not complaining. She's phenomenally shaped. All right. Top notch. But still, you got to be a complete.
Shay's getting so mad right now. She's like,
just a complete.
It's just funny seeing Dave talk about this.
Why? What the fuck? I like the female species. Is that a thing? Like, should I proclaim it? Should I
No,
shout it
it's
from
because
the?
you're old.
oh man, ouch.
Holy shit! Yesterday, I was convinced the show was yesterday. I was like, "Hey Shay, when you come in today and when you write the rundown," I was like, "It's Wednesday." Okay, cool.
We
and
were
then
thrown
I was
off
like,
from Memorial Day.
"Yeah, it was just a little."
And you've been spinning off the earth. I love it lately.
Yes, it's been a morning. So anyway, Liv, new champ. That's cool. Sami Zayn retains the Intercontinental Championship on a technicality.
He's
I guess
just
you could
keeping
say.
it warm for Gable.
Yeah, for Gable. His contract runs out next week. I wonder if anybody makes a play for Chad Gable.
He'll be re-signing.
I hope so. I just for his sake, because I think what the story is great, and what they've developed over there for him is awesome. So it's like, don't leave, not yet.
Now here's what I want to see, and hopefully you're on board with me on
And Cody
this.
Rhodes defeats Logan Paul. Go ahead.
I want to talk about that because
okay.
After this point, do you think Otis should definitely leave the Alpha Academy and him and Bronson Reed become a tag team to be the new fucking Twin Towers?
No.
Why? Could you imagine that tag team? That tag team would be amazing.
No, by fantasy booking standards, yeah, that sounds cool. But like Bronson Reed has to be on his own, and you're waiting for the big singles push from Otis. But again, can Otis be a singles run? Like right now, you're feeling what you're feeling right now for Otis is what you were feeling for Sami Zayn when he was in the fucking
I think Otis is great.
No, bloodline.
I think Otis would be great in a tag team as a singles wrestler. No, because they tried that before when he caught the Money in the Bank briefcase when it fell.
I mean, look, you're never going to get a hotter version of Otis than you have right now, where the crowd is like super piping hot for him, and eventually he will turn on Gable when it matters the most. So maybe Gable gets another one-on-one shot, maybe come SummerSlam, and the turn happens there, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe it happens prior, and you get a Gable-Otis match at SummerSlam. I don't know. Speaking of SummerSlam, I want to bring this up. It's in the notes later, but 2026 is being billed and listed as Minneapolis, Minnesota, where the Vikings play, 2 nights. Does that not reek of confidence? Like, oh yeah, by the way, in 2 years, we're still going to be hot. So hot, we're going to put fucking SummerSlam on 2 nights.
You know what else it reeks of?
That's amazing to me.
Which night is Brock Lesnar returning?
No. Well, he'll be there, but he'll be back way before. And I still think Chris Van Vliet put it out on his Instagram, like, who should be the next contender for Cody? Because Cody really hasn't had a storied contender yet. Like, it's been AJ for like a hot cup of coffee, and then he just beat Logan Paul. It's losing its luster. I'm sorry. Like, it's not really doing it for me right now. I think a lot of people are understanding that we miss Roman Reigns very much right now. So they need another impact player. And I think bringing Brock back now for SummerSlam would be fantastic. Like, it could be as early as tomorrow on Friday Night SmackDown, or if you're watching this on Saturday, you missed it. Maybe Brock comes back to be the next contender for Cody's belt, because you already know that Gunther winning the King of the Ring is going to challenge Damian Priest or fucking McIntyre. I don't see that happening. Or maybe Punk costs him again come Clash at the Castle.
Happen. That's definitely
yeah. So that they're still building that. It's going to be Punk and McIntyre at SummerSlam. Awesome. Can't wait. My bold prediction, not so much bold, I'm sure it's been rumored already or at least talked about, is that, everybody keeps forgetting. Like, I was talking to Chernoff and a couple of the other guys at Premiere about Minneapolis, and they're like, yeah, blah, 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 next year. I'm like, no. This is 2026. 2025 has not been announced yet. I think they're going across the pond for SummerSlam. I think they're going back to England, like straight up 91 style, 92, whenever the fuck that was. I think that they deserve it after what they just showed in France.
France was nuts.
They deserve across the pond could mean so many things. I'm not talking about Saudi either, because they get their own shit. And I'm not talking about Clash of the Castle because they get their own shit. But like, give it to London. Give it to fucking
go right to Wembley.
France. Go
right to Wembley.
Go right to Wembley. Sure, why not? Nobody's done that before. So yeah, that's
but they'll plan to do it on 2 nights.
Right. Cody Rhodes, you wanted to talk about the Cody Rhodes Logan Paul match. Logan Paul,
listen,
man,
about
he delivers
the
every
fucking
time.
camera angle that they did on Logan Paul's frog splash towards the outside, where it was like that spinning fucking camera angle. You think Bucky Beaver is sitting at home right now, very pissed off that he lost his job? And
Are you talking about Kevin Dunn?
Yeah, and
Bucky
his
Beaver.
terrible fucking camera cuts, because since he's been gone, the camera work has been phenomenal.
Oh, you say that, and I say I raise you, or at least not. I compete that with. I forget what match it was now, and I tweeted about it and deleted it because I was like, I don't want to knock any production, but there was one over the head camera angle of some match, and they weren't prepared for the overhead camera angle. They were literally face up, looking at the sky. And when you look at the sky, if you're getting shot to the side, nobody's going to see you really talking.
You're talking about you're talking about AEW and Brian Cage. That was from a couple months ago.
No. It happened like this week.
Oh,
I watched it this
I remember
week.
that one. Like,
no, but this
Brian
one was
Cage
like
looking,
the
calling the
girl.
spot.
It was either a girls' match, or I don't remember, but they were just blatantly calling the spots.
Yeah.
While looking directly at the camera, and the camera's like, shit. Like they had to get off them. I was like, I don't know.
I wonder, are those drone? Is that drone footage?
I think it's just almost like an NBC over the top.
The zip line camera?
Yeah, yeah, probably. That's what I think.
You know who created that? Vince
McMahon. So that's King of the Ring. Happened. It was great. Jade Cargill.
Wasn't
there a rumor that Bianca was pregnant?
That was a great rumor, wasn't it?
As soon as she
wait, hang on.
As soon as she came out.
Wait. Let me do my eye roll.
He's wearing glasses under the glasses, by the way.
Yeah. Because that's how I roll.
Why was
get it?
God, even Shay, you got Shay today. Shay's in a giggly mood. No, but
it's because Payne's not here.
Yeah, I know. She doesn't have to get like just berated. No, but what I will say is who started that?
I don't know. The internet wrestling community. And by the way,
which is ridiculous because then she shows up for a wrestling. I was like, well, that's malpractice.
By the way, how in shape do you have to be to see your fucking abs through the overclothes like that?
I hate the fact that they got to do that. I understand.
I hate the fact they got to do that either.
But I mean, it's like Jesus Christ.
You're talking about the most perfect abs that you could possibly have.
You're talking about Jade?
Yeah.
She's just
holy shit.
I would say like, oh, tell me your secret. She's just phenomenally genetics, diet, workout. You get Jade Cargill, and she's a star, and everybody knows that.
And Bianca too.
Yeah, Bianca looks great too. Raw comes and goes. Priest and McIntyre had some words about their match. Clash at the Castle, yay. Strowman, I thought he got hurt, but he was just selling a limp like a lot. So
you talking about the run around the cage?
Yeah,
and Dominic hits Becky, but
yeah, that too. It's like, but I will say
the
this:
make-out session at the end.
They cut it.
I think they did that on purpose.
Why?
I think they did it on purpose.
For socials? Like, after the match, this is what happened. I think they just jumped the gun.
Well, because if you remember...
All right, fade to black. Wait!
If you remember...
It's too late.
Yeah, but if you remember back in the day, and they would cut like that, you would see it the very next week. Last week on Raw,
Yeah,
our
I
cameras
know,
cut
but-
off, but
But
it's
now you have
perfect.
another community of people that are just like
Yeah,
up in
but-
arms, like what the fuck just
It's
happened?
I think it's perfect for socials. It's going to get people invested if they weren't invested to begin with, because they were starting to lay these little Easter eggs, and they were doing it on social media beforehand.
With the bandana? Have you,
No.
you seen any of those?
With that, but also they were doing like an interview backstage, and you didn't. Maybe you noticed it on TV, but you really didn't. But they pushed it on the social media. You saw Liv Morgan walking out of Dominic's dressing room
Ah!
as they were doing
What's she
an
doing
interview
there?
with somebody
Huh?
else. So
What'd she do?
they've been
Little-
laying
little
those
kissy-
Easter
kissy?
eggs. They've been laying those Easter eggs.
And look, it all came to a head, and you know, they little make out session at the end of Raw, and I'm like, all right, well, we'll see what happens now.
So does it? I wonder if this means that
Who was
Judgment
it?
Day turns on.
Who's the guy?
Rhea.
Who's the kid in Chop Sports? He's also an MMA guy. He was on that show. Got kicked off the show. Mark something. He's from Chop Sports.
Oh yeah, Mark.
Right. So he sends me a meme, and it was actually really funny. I no sold it like an asshole because I was just in the middle of a million things. But it was it was like Rhea and Liv, and it was like custody for Dominic
Yes.
as like the kid. And I was
Yes.
like, oh, this is so good.
Yes.
Can
But I'm wondering,
we put him on a pole match? Bro, put him on. I never booked one pole match except for Judy Bagwell.
and she was on a forklift. Do you think the Judgment Day turns on Rhea and brings in Liv?
No. I think Dom is gone. That's what I think.
Could be.
You can't. I mean, look, Rhea's going to be cheered regardless, right? She's like that, got that stone cold
I
to
told
her.
you she was, and this is going back to former seasons when Rhea had just went there. I had said to you guys, I'm telling you, she is the leader of the Judgment Day. And the other one was like, no, there's no way. It's Damian Priest. I'm like, I'm telling you, that is the clear leader
Payne?
of the Judgment Day. No.
Oh, Wrestling Rob. God. Don't know where you are, but
Future
hopefully you're
endeavored.
okay.
Future endeavored.
So he must be really bugging out seeing all the stuff that's happening. He's like, and all you got to do is text, hey, man, can I help? You know, I'd welcome you back, sort of. Not really.
You wouldn't get paid. You'd be owing Mojo.
Don't worry,
but-
he doesn't fucking get paid either.
No, but I get 5% of everything.
You don't get 5% of shit. Anyway, dragging off Ricochet. Dude, I have to say, first of all, great match. Because look, Ricochet and Dragunov are completely phenomenal athletes. They're always going to give you a million things.
Especially
I
Dragunov.
do think, I don't want this to happen. It doesn't matter where he goes. But Ricochet, I think he might be on the outs. His contract's running up as well soon. I don't know if they re-sign him.
I don't see him leaving.
I don't want him to leave. His girl's there, which, by the way, please stop worrying about her reaction. If you want to make her manager, change her over. Stop. But the highlight for me of that match is the timing, the impeccable timing. Did you see the run and the crawl and the
I'm not listening to anything that you're saying right now because you've again insulted Samantha Irvin.
I just can't get behind it. Sorry. Only Ricochet can. No, but
Got her again.
yeah, well, listen, I'm on a roll today. No, but what I will say, the timing, the crawling, and then the running, and then in the ring, and then speared the life out of him. He's my new favorite right now. Bron Breakker is my new favorite wrestler on the WWE roster while Roman's not there. Because Bron Breakker, to me, every time that dude comes out, he is a fucking savage, and he is the future of this company because no matter what he does, he's must see.
He reminds me of old school Legion of Doom, like all gas, no brakes,
and by himself nonetheless.
Yeah.
You know, and I would hate for them to stunt his growth with a tag team partner. I don't think they will.
No.
I think he can go by himself. His cardio is ridiculous.
Dude, I would just hate to be one of the people taking that.
Oh man.
spear.
Listen, and I'm not anybody. But my finishing move was, in fact, the spear. Because I figured it was the easiest thing to do to everybody, and I played football and I know how to tackle. So I was like,
Yeah, but you didn't run 26 miles an hour off
I
the
did
ropes.
not. It was more like 4 to 5 miles an hour off the ropes, and that's in fast motion. But I will say, his spear, which, if you had to rank spears of all time, he's quickly climbing the ranks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking it's like Goldberg, Roman, Braun is right there.
Don't forget Rhino.
Rhino, the Gore, the Edge. Edge's was always like a little bit. I know Bobby Lashley does a weird one. He like lands weird.
Edge's best spear that he threw was off the ladder.
Oh, that thing was fucking nuts. But I would say Bron Breakker with the velocity and the aggression.
Because
he's killing people.
You look at all right. So yeah, Goldberg made it believable because he really didn't know how to work, right? So
and he was actually tackling people.
He was smashing you. He broke fucking Big Show's sternum.
Of course he did, and that's a hard sternum to break.
Yeah. When you look at Braun, it looks like it sucks. It really
that
looks
jobber
like
from
it
the
sucks.
other night. Not jobber, but the NXT guy. He came up, the one he did on the outside. Like when he gained all the momentum coming around the ring. And I'm like, he's going to kill that motherfucker. Yeah. And he just
It reminds me of those old NFL videos that you watch of the hardest hits before they turned it into a pansy league.
Yeah, exactly. Authors of Pain defeat the Creed brothers.
Office of Pain? He just said Office of Pain, right?
It sounded like you said Officer Pain.
Officer Pain defeated the Creed brothers, and Authors of Pain also defeated the Creed brothers. Are you seeing these promos that the Cross is doing?
He
where
seems
he's like
more like the manager than Paul and than what's his name?
I think
Paul
Ellering
Ellering.
is just there. I mean, for nostalgia, fine, but like, what are we doing here?
And listen,
he does the whole like, yeah.
I'm
it's
completely
like,
fine with Cross being like the manager / like worker when he needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
I love his promos that he's doing.
The whole like,
I love it.
You're holding this guy back.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 just stirring the pot.
I love what they do the backstage stuff.
Speaking of that last promo, fucking Miz and R-Truth with the ice cream. What flavor ice cream? He's like, you vanilla and you're strawberry. I'm just like, God damn. And then the fucking, of course, the New Day was like, he was going to say chocolate. Like, he was going to say chocolate. That was, again, great comedy. Sheamus and Kaiser went at it. They're going to do some battle down the road. Rey Mysterio defeats Carlito. Bronson Reed defeats Otis. And then we saw that. And then, of course, the cage match, Liv Morgan retains. The only thing I want to bring up as we close Raw off and WWE is how much longer do you think these QR code things are going to happen before we actually get something?
It's got to be SummerSlam.
You think? Because it's like
everybody's like, oh, it's going to be Clash at the Castle.
It's
They're
the
not. I'm not going to say waste it, but
no, this is still watch that. But like,
wouldn't use it there.
They brought back
SummerSlam.
Bray at fucking Extreme Rules. You know, so like, and it wasn't a waste. It was a great comeback.
I don't think they're going to do it at Clash of the Castle, though.
Nah, I don't think they're going to do a Clash of the Castle. But I will say, I'm glad that Michael Cole is now acknowledging it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's that damn QR code again. What the fuck's going on? You know, finally acknowledging a little bit. And everything that you see, if you click on it or you capture it while it's there or pause it or whatever, the internet does their job. They go online, they find out what it was. It's clearly, all the stuff. Like, do you think there's any shred of it being anything else besides Uncle Howdy and all that shit? Is there anything else that's like, now that I keep seeing like a crow, I was like, oh, fuck, tell me Sting. Tell me Sting's back.
Imagine it. Well, no, I think
keep seeing a crow.
I think his son just signed a wrestling deal.
With?
I think AEW.
I keep seeing there's a crow, and I'm like, oh, that's different, but is that Bo's thing or whatever they're going to call him? Mike, not Mike, whatever the hell his name is. Huh?
Taylor?
Is it Taylor Rotunda?
I think so.
They're not going to call him that, but like Uncle Howdy. But anyway,
shout the answers right out when you got them, Shay.
Yeah, WWE.
I had to think about it.
Another fucking movie that you probably never saw.
I would love to acknowledge before we get off of WWE two things, big things that happened on NXT this week. Jordan Grace graced us with her presence again at TNA Knockouts Champion. Shows up to challenge the NXT Women's Champion, which is awesome.
Payne's
I love
favorite wrestler.
Well, my favorite is Jordan Grace.
No.
Oh yeah, he loves. What was it, Roxanne Perez?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
I'm not gonna repeat the name that he said.
Nah, don't do that.
Even though my son walks around the house saying it constantly.
Oh, thanks, Payne. Uncle Payne, always poisoning the future. But what I will say is, I love the idea that TNA and NXT and WWE can work together. I think there's a lot of possibilities out of that. I really do.
WWE just did it with GCW with Bloodsport.
Yes. It's no longer, to me, it's no longer a forbidden door. It's WWE doing good business.
It's because Vince is gone. Vince did the thing with ECW.
Bro, they're even doing fucking NXT at the fucking Apex.
Yeah, Vince did that with ECW because he saw there was an end game to it.
But
right?
I was going to say, he saw that as an opportunity to put his boys over.
Right. With what they're doing now, like with Jordan Gray, they're bringing their champions here, right? They're bringing their champion, and they didn't bring, like, what are you going to do if Moose shows up? How fucking great would that be?
It'd be awesome.
Or if Brian Myers makes his return back there.
Yeah,
like,
the system, the entire fucking
group.
Why not?
It could work. Why the hell not? Especially on NXT.
I'm looking
that would
forward
be great.
to, and now this makes NXT like, okay, gonna tune in, you know? Because
after his appearance at the War on the Shore, Matt Cardona shows up there.
Beautiful. Another guy showed up at NXT at the end, and he whooped that trick. Okay,
Yeah.
that's Ethan Page.
All ego.
Listen, I've liked this guy since Jump. I've known him a long time. To see him get to this level now, to me, is his greatest accomplishment on a professional wrestling basis.
And I feel bad because I didn't really see his work that much in
He's
AEW.
great. He's great. I'm not in AEW, but on the Indies, he was a very good worker, a great talker on the mic. He's going to be a very, very hot commodity down there at NXT.
I wish we would have known you were available, Mr. Page.
He was available. Now he's not. But I wonder, I guess if you get signed, you just nix all the rest of your appearances. I think sometimes they'll say you can go fulfill them, but most of the time it's not. All right, Double or Nothing, another pay-per-view that went over on the weekend. Shay, where are we at on time?
We're at 35 minutes.
Beautiful.
We're good. Stop asking about time. We're good.
I asked the producer where we at on time because I like to know where I'm at. And this is like, look at that. I took for the intro, and WWE was a half hour.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I wanted. And I didn't even know. How about that, huh? Shut your mouth. Anyway, Double or Nothing went down also.
I mean, the clock is right there.
Over the
You're
weekend.
just not
What
looking
clock? What are we looking at here? Double or Nothing, great pay-per-view. They had some really cool moments. Just to run down real quick, Deonna Purrazzo defeats Thunder Rosa. The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass defeat Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. We have a new international champion as Will Ospreay defeats Roderick Strong.
I swear to God, if when Brian Cage finally goes over in a match in AEW, I'm going to play the lottery because I'm waiting to see him go over.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, wins and losses in that company actually does matter because they do the ranking thing.
Yeah, but even just not in that company. CM Punk has said it himself. He goes, when he did the podcast with Colt Cabana. Yes, I understand what we do is predetermined. He used the F word. I won't do that to insult the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He goes, I understand wins and losses don't matter.
Fuck is what he wanted to say.
Yeah. But technically they do because losing, there goes my merch sales and there goes my spot on the card because people aren't going to want to pay to see me keep getting pinned.
I don't know about all of that, but again, you look at a guy like Brian Cage and you're like, that guy should never lose. That's true.
Yeah.
And like, and I'm not saying that I'm going to be this all-world, all-knowing, all-telling booker for Fight Factory, but we collectively book this match and this card, and there's certain people on the roster where I'm like, you're not going to lose for a little while because that's going to be the thing.
Yeah.
And because you want to build these characters. Brian Cage is getting lost in the shuffle, and he's one of the best athletes I've ever seen go in a ring, ever. Like, top notch.
Just like
ever.
Murder Hawk. Another one.
Yeah. After that, it was a big one. Adam Cole, baby, did his little shtick and spiel, and then we get the return of MJF. Now, breaking down the promo, the hype, the build, the package, him walking through that house, going into the thing, seeing his poster, seeing his fucking scarf, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is great. This is great cinema. And then the comeback, if you didn't think that the fucking Triple H look wasn't a thing, that's a thing. You damn well know he was paying homage. You damn well know he was. To come out dressed as, biker Freeman, but like he comes out, he kicks Adam Cole in the dick, he fucking gets on the mic, cuts an all-world promo as only MJF does, and this is exactly what, if you're AEW, you needed it. You needed the injection of an MJF back into your product because that dude can carry you.
And it's funny because like half the people during his title reign, this is an awful title reign, blah, 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 blah. But now he's back.
Even the AEW fans are fucking turning on their own product.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Dude, unless you are Kenny Omega and the Tickle Taint Twins, or
shit stinks, by the way.
or you're if you're not in with them on camera,
The
they crap on
authority
everybody else.
and, like,
but
just looks
with MJF, if people actually thought, because they're saying, "Oh, Triple H fumbled that," he was never a free agent. You know, he re-signed last year.
Yeah,
they just kept it quiet.
And
He's
then he
not
shows
going
the
anywhere.
tattoo, and he's all in, and this, that, and the thing. Bet on yourself. I am all for that, and I know for a fact
There's no reason for him to go. Listen, if he were to go to WWE right now,
he'd be struggling for a spot.
He would be struggling for a
Yeah,
spot.
I think so, too.
He would be great on the mic. You know, but as far like they're not going to throw him in a world title picture just because he's MJF.
No, I mean, you could tell by the people that they do bring in. They don't just get inserted into title pictures. For MJF, this is his
he's
home.
still young.
This is his wheelhouse, and he made himself there. And I think that there was a couple people on social media that were like, oh, it's because, this guy didn't want, Triple H didn't want him, this, that, and the third. Why get that tattoo? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, he had a fantastic indie run. Don't get me wrong. MLW and all the shit he did on the indies, whether it was GCW, whatever. But, like, he got made at AEW. He is their homegrown guy. I know that he existed prior, but like that's a real homegrown dude. So of course he's gonna stay. He's comfortable there. The schedule appeals to him. Fucking do your thing, man. You know what I mean? Bravo for the return. Can't wait to see what happens. I do think they kind of dropped the ball by not putting him on Dynamite last night. But again, you put him on next week, and people are gonna. I know me. I'm gonna watch. Because I want to see. What he has to say, who his first opponent's going to be. Is it going to be obviously Adam Cole? They'll do a shtick there. But again, MJF is top notch. Will Ospreay, we said that already. Bang Bang Gang defeats the Death Triangle. Great. Juice Robinson's back. Anybody care? Tony Storm defeats Serena.
The Gang Bang Gang.
Did I say that?
No, but that's all I think of. They got to come up with a different.
Chris
name
Jericho
for that.
defeats Hook and Shibata for the FTW, or what is he calling it?
Of course he did.
He's calling it the free
For
the
the
world.
World.
For the world.
Of
Okay.
course,
Guess what?
of course
folks?
he did.
That's not what the original name of that title was.
course
Moxley
he
defeats Takeshita. Copeland. Now, first of all,
What the fuck?
sucks that he got hurt. He even said it in his Twitter video that he, got a little cocky, figured, hey, at 50, I could still jump off the top of a cage and be fine, right? Wrong.
Well,
It sucks.
I mean, maybe not landing on your fucking feet.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it was just a weird thing. The awesome thing is seeing Gangrel. That shit was awesome. I feel like WWE did drop the ball with that because you could have had it and they didn't want it, and it looks awesome now. We didn't even get to talk about it because we were off last week. The velocity in which that blood fell from the roof. That knocked the shit out of that guy, man. He was like, holy, and it was just like, oh my God, it was everywhere.
So
I was
who was watching the old WCW video when they decided to do that? Remember when they did that? What was that with Kevin Nash? When they completely missed him with the blood? It was
no,
like
I forget.
3 feet away.
I know. I remember that though. But this was a fucking dead shot. And good night, buddy. You were out. But yeah, so it sucks that he got hurt. Gangrel shows up. That's awesome.
Now, is it he fractured his tibia?
Yeah. So to me, that's a 6-month ordeal, maybe longer.
Oh, I mean, with stem cells, it might not be.
Matt
as
Cardona
bad.
got 400 trillion stem cells put in his body the other day. He's going to be ready.
He's trying to be ready for what the shorts.
He's going to be ready. I can feel it, and it's going to cost us more money. It doesn't matter. No, it's going to be great. I can't wait. Listen, his recovery is happening very fast, which is awesome. Mercedes Moné defeats Willow Nightingale. Chris Statlander turned on Willow. That bitch
did not need to do that. Willow should have kept on to that belt a little bit longer.
You didn't like the boss when it?
I really felt like Willow should have held on to that belt a little bit longer.
Did you fucking see the audacity she had to say that she's the best going right now?
Yeah.
What the fuck are we talking about? You got 3 girls on the roster that you're at who are better than you.
It's funny.
And you got the WWE roster, and then you got the Indies. You are not the best in the world.
It's funny when the people on the inside are like,
It's not.
People on the inside are like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna get the return for what they're paying her for.
No, they have already lost their ass on that. But Swerve Strickland retains. He defeats Christian Cage. Team Elite defeats Team AEW in an Anarchy in the Arena match. We saw, obviously, what's this guy light him on fire.
Thank you for lighting the little shit bird on fire.
So that whole thing happens. And then, obviously, Dynamite happens last
All
night.
right, I got to ask you.
Sure.
Do you think that that Jungle Junk has turned a corner and is now a great promo? Because that seems to be going on the IWC. That, oh my God, look at how great his promo is. Yeah, it's great when you're produced.
They're not.
Let them cut it on the fly.
They're not produced. They're not produced. I've seen Soraya Page put out this video I saw the other day saying that WWE was like bullet points or a complete script. AEW, they don't give you a lot of guidance, according to her. So, like, maybe a lot of this shit is off the cuff, but I still need more out of him before I'm a believer that he's a main eventer or any kind of impact player.
It's never going to do it for me. Even if he didn't look like a total douche nozzle with the whole Punk situation, like even when he was Jungle Boy with Dino Douche, it was just like...
You're very pro AEW today with your names. Sky Blue revealed that she attacked Mercedes Moné a couple weeks ago. That son of a bitch. Great. So there's your first title. Swerve Strickland defeats Killswitch, and then he cut his hair off. Cut off a weave. But I
didn't know that dinosaurs had hair. What the hell's going on?
You got me. And then, of course, comes what I think might go down as maybe the worst ever segment on an AEW Dynamite. And that was Chris Jericho's Learning Tree, TV time, whatever the fuck.
I'm telling you,
what are we doing?
The big time AEW fans are actually like, okay, I've given Chris Jericho enough chances. Now I'm starting to get
Did you hear Taz on commentary? He was basically, Jericho came out, he's like, you know, I'm here because I need more TV time, right? And then like Taz was like, yeah, that's a shoot. You know, like they're even the people that are calling the fucking thing are like
he's
sitting there
literally
like, what are we
carrying Taz's belt. That's the part that drives me crazy.
And he says he's the longest reigning for the world champion, which is, again, that's funny. But like calling Big Cass fucking the redwood or whatever because he's the tree, it's like, dude, it just felt very. I had to turn it off. I was like, all right, I can't do this. Back to the Sopranos, I couldn't do it.
That seems to be the consensus with it. Look, and we've talked about this enough. I used to be a huge Jericho fan, but lately with AEW,
t-shirts.
lately with this stuff with AEW, just I don't know. It's just something I can't connect with.
Yeah, well, I just think it's forced down our throat. And this is like his fifth gimmick at AEW alone. You know, he was El Champion or whatever the fuck it's called, and then he was
popping the bubbly
Fozzy, and then he was fucking what do you call him? What did he dress like a clown for a minute too? Or
that was the Painmaker.
That was New Japan.
He did that in Japan,
dude. And that's another thing. I have to call this out because Nikki the Good even said it. We were texting on the side, and he was telling me about how people attacked him for.
I saw that on Twitter. Right? I saw that on Twitter today.
He's like, wait, like, and again, when I first started wrestling, way back in 2012, my trainer decided to say, you know, ask the class of, 12 of us, the core 12, as Payne likes to say, who are your influences in pro wrestling to become a pro wrestler? Not your favorite wrestlers, but like the people that you wanted to be. I wanted to be Shawn Michaels. I wanted to be. And then I realized that's not happening because of my size and my build and my speed and my athleticism. It just wasn't adding up that I could be the showstopper. So I said Shawn and Brock Lesnar. That's who those are the two that I'm like, those are my guys, right? And I'm a big fan.
You didn't ask for Feed Me More Nutrition
No,
back then?
No, not him. He called me on my birthday. That first year, he's like,
to ask me for money.
Hey, Dave, send me some flowers. No, I said Shawn and Brock. And like, it would take like a couple other guys.
That's like two totally different spectrums.
But again, growing up, all I did was throw super kicks on the trampoline and flex like Shawn Michaels and do elbow drops off the tree and do all these things that I could do as a kid. But then once I got into a real professional wrestling, I'm like, I can't do any of this shit.
No.
This sucks. Can't skin the cat. Can't fucking do a super kick to save my life. Can't do all this. So I was like, who can I be? I'll be a bigger guy. Brock's a bigger guy. Be a ground and pound guy. Be a MMA guy without the training. But like that's who I wanted to be. But like those other guys that were in the class, they said shit like, oh, I wanted to be, let's arbitrarily call somebody out. I wanted to be Takeshita. And me, as the non-avid outside of WWE, WCW, I was like, who's that? Whoa, you don't know wrestling. You don't know All Japan, New Japan, Super Duper Japan. It's like, no, I don't. fucking shoot me for not knowing who the fuck half of the guys are that you want to be. So like Nikki got attacked because he didn't know who the girl was.
Oh, from CMLL?
She's from CMLL. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? And I literally said to him, I said, what's CMLL? To him in a text. He goes, and then he said it again. I was like, no, I understand that. But what the fuck are you talking about? Because I really didn't know. And he's like, oh, it's some, company out in Mexico. And I was like,
Lady Frost wrestled there.
Right. And you know what's so funny? The next time I logged onto Instagram, one of the stories was Flip Gordon, and he was at CML. I was like, oh, now this is just creepy.
Yeah, they worked with AEW.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's just like they're and we're not even casuals. Like I'm a WWE. WCW is down here for me, but like WWE was my thing. So sue me for not knowing who the fuck was in the third match at New Japan All Kingdom Super Duper Grand Slam event. Like, I don't fucking know, nor do I give a shit.
Yeah, Dave Meltzer doesn't like you.
Oh, Dave Meltzer doesn't like anybody. Dave Meltzer is a fucking miserable bastard. But you can actually rank and review all your shows on My Fandom using that right now. And you can give your own 5-star reviews and fuck Meltzer because nobody cares.
And you don't have to worry about the cage match ratings either.
No, you don't. I'm on Cage Match. Go look it up. So is Payne. I said to Payne in text, like, bro, you're on Cage Match, and there's like a period of time where you didn't fucking win. Like there was like L, and I was like, damn, bro, you stink, right? You can't fucking win.
Wins losses don't matter, bro. I still had to bet
my fucking win-loss record was not great at all either, because once I became a heel, there was a lot of losing. But like as a babyface, I lost my second match. But like after that, I went on a nice
tear. It's like Ric Flair said. I won 16 times and I lost 4,788 times.
And I'll do it all over again. My TV time, we talked about that. Moxley defeats Rocky Romero. The only thing I'll say about Moxley is that he said like he'll go anywhere, beat anyone, blah, blah, blah. And then Cardona, opportunist as he is, says like, oh yeah, why don't you go and fight me? And then you know what I thought in my first mind? I was like, Fight Factory, Moxley, Cardona for the New Japan, whatever the fuck title he has. Well, book it, Dano. We don't have the funds for that. Unless we hit the lottery or there's 8,000 people on the beach. Then that's another.
All Payne has to do is sell his house.
I'm going to sell my Honda Civic. It's fucking loaded. Trent Beretta joined the Don Callis family. Saw that segment. That one also sucked. Mercedes defeats Sky Blue for the. Oh, wow. So in the beginning, I was like, oh, they'll fight eventually. Guess what? Fought last night.
That's going to happen again.
After the match, Stephanie Vaquer from... Oh, that's the one?
That's a CMLL, yeah.
See, you put NJPW.
That's what I read.
Shay.
Boy.
Oh, comes the community.
Well, but she probably wrestled there. But here's one of the things that we're also forgetting.
How many fucking Japans are there? New
Japan, All Japan,
Tokyo Dome, fucking
Dragon Gate,
Dragon. Yeah, it's like, but if you don't know that shit, you are not a fucking wrestling fan.
AEW signed
punk.
What's her nuts from fucking
nuts?
NWA. Camille?
I don't know, but what's her nuts is good. Chris Statlander said that she went after Willow because Willow wouldn't give her a title shot. You selfish prick. I love Statlander. She showed up. She showed up
to hold on to the belt long enough to give her a damn title shot.
Fair.
I would have rather seen that match.
Fair, very fair.
Like you're calling yourself, and this is no shot. I understand belts mean that. Yeah. You're calling yourself the best woman wrestler in the world, and you give her a secondary title.
Is it a secondary title?
It's a TNT championship.
So it's like they're intercontinental.
Yeah, like that. Like that's a perfect belt.
I can't figure out what the fucking ranking thing is over
for
there.
me, that's the perfect belt for a Willow or a Statlander. Like someone
Statlander deserves up. She deserves to be with the Tony Storms.
For, supposedly the greatest, the GOAT of women's wrestling, who's getting paid the most and all this other shit.
Yeah, you're the GOAT of salary. Like, sure, you're being paid.
You don't have her in the world title picture for the women. Shay, you are an avid AEW faithful fan. Who's the women's champion there again? Is it Tony Storm?
Yeah.
It's still Tony Storm? So why isn't she going against Mercedes?
Nah, Tony Storm's dealing with Serena. Well deserved. Serena's the best. Serena's better than fucking Mercedes. And Serena's been doing this for fucking 30 years. It's like, it's not even close. Anyway, Young Bucks gave the vacant TNT championship to Jack Perry. But then Christopher Daniels, a.k.a.
Adam Pearce
came out,
The fuck?
stripped him of it, because that's what he does, and he's now the new EVP. Then the Acclaim came out. I stared down the young buck. I fucking quit. Will Ospreay won the casino gauntlet.
The cameo gauntlet.
That too. But I also saw the return of one Leo Rush, my man. I love Leo
Jeff
Rush.
Cobb was very vocal on Twitter this weekend.
Jeff Cobb, where's he at?
Pissed off about the gauntlet.
Why was he not invited?
He
I guess
wouldn't
our
do it.
invitation got lost in the mail.
No. Somebody asked him that, like, are you in it? He goes, I refused. He goes, we shouldn't have to do that.
Oh, wow. Did not see that or hear that. But look, call it gripe, call it whatever. AEW right now, and I was a lot more on fire last night than I was today, so I've had time to come down and realize that, like, I shouldn't be saying anything negative about them as a whole. They're all doing their best. It's not their fucking decisions on who they wrestle and why they're wrestling.
They're doing the best of what they with what they got.
Right. And again, I'm not about to sit here like, yesterday somebody was on there saying, like, they had so many people back there. Like, I'm just going to tell you straight out point blank, period, that, like, there's one guy running the fucking show. That's it. And if you can't get by him, you're not going to get a fucking idea across. And that sucks. But Tony Khan is also the kind of guy that falls in love with people very fast.
Mm-hmm.
He's very in love with Bruv right now. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get a lot of Ospreay love. You're going to get a lot of, I don't know, who else? Fucking Jericho. Him and Jericho are fucking like this. You know what I mean? So you're going to get a lot of segments of Jericho. That's the way it works. That's called politics in wrestling. You can't get away from it. It's unfortunate. That's the bad spot of wrestling. And it's to no fault of anybody that's down there. You know what I mean?
I'm glad nobody's politicking us for our show.
I don't understand. What are you saying?
Give it a minute.
Got it. Registered. No, I just, again, I'm not going to sit here and bash the company. Some segments are great. Some fucking stink. Same thing with WWE. I'm not going to sit here and say they're the almighty because there's some of the shit I don't agree with. You know what I mean? I'm just like, that's whatever. I don't care. But again.
But you see, here's the thing. Those segments that you don't agree with, 98% of WWE fans don't agree with either. They don't go on Twitter trying to make it seem like that segment was the best because of X, Y, and Z.
I think if there was more of a reality to the fan base of AEW, that AEW would be better off for that. And what I mean when I say that is, if AEW fans just came together and realized, like, okay, not everything they do is going to be flawless. Some of the shit that they do is going to be fucking amazing, right? Some of the fucking matches, cage matches, whatever fucking
Britt
matches.
Baker, Thunder Rosa was one of my favorite matches there.
Whatever is whatever. Like, if it's good, then it's great. Everybody root for it. But you can't.
And the Bryan Danielson matches
can't put
that he had,
lipstick
too.
on a pig. You can't sit there and tell me that the Jericho segment was good.
You took a direct shot at Boots with that one.
Who's Boots?
Man, you really are out of it, ain't you?
Anyway, you can't paint rust. It's still rust, right? Like, Jericho being on TV right now, again, if AEW fans unite and say, yeah, we can do without that. You know what I mean? They'd be better off for it, because then if you sit there and defend that, then you are just brainless. I'm sorry. You're brainless. And that goes for some of the segments that just don't fucking hit, and that's okay.
Yeah, but he could have 50 fans come up to him and tell him, I didn't like that segment, but that one fan that comes up, oh, Tony, I loved it. I love everything you're doing. He's going to listen to that one. He's not going to listen to the other 50.
And that eventually will lead to the demise and the detriment.
It's not going to lead to any demise because it's a never-ending bank account.
I don't know about all that. I know everybody says that. Hey, look, listen, my dad's very good at managing money. He's got himself a beautiful house and a perfect pool and all this other shit. And if I went to him and I said, hey, man, I need you to invest in Fight Factory Wrestling right now. And he said, you know what? Everything you're doing is great. I will invest. Here's $10,000, right? And I'm like, thanks, Dad. And then, like, War at the Shore happens, and it is a shit show. And it's just like, nothing's good. Nobody showed up. It's a dog shit. Like, if I went to my dad and said, hey, we gave it our best, but can I have another 10? he'd say, fuck you. No. Look what happened, right? So that's what I feel like will happen eventually, is that the well will run out. And when it does,
but just
they're in trouble.
And you could sit there and say ratings. Okay, ratings don't matter anything, but what about attendance?
Well, again,
How
that's
is
what
that?
I'm just
How
that's
is
what I
that
just said
not
to you.
matter? Like, how is that
It does
not
matter.
mattering?
And if they're smart, why not take the TNA model? Go to these smaller venues, make it set. Look at NXT. NXT, you can only fit 2,000 people or whatever, maybe even less. You know, but it sounds fucking awesome. And produce the shit out of that.
AEW fans go nuts over, a fart. So it would probably be really well
That's what I'm
received inside
saying.
a
Like,
smaller
and you'll
arena.
have the crowd loud and into it and full, and just the aesthetics will look great. It's a pride thing. It's a pride thing. And I understand that Tony Khan wants to run at Wembley and at these fucking stadiums and, these massive venues.
Wembley's great. You get 50, 60,000 people, 70. I know it wasn't the number that they reported, whatever. That was a great event for them.
It was.
To me, it's like they jumped the shark.
You just got to tone it down, scale it down. And again, I've been a promoter for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And I already know.
It has nothing to do with really
No,
with
but it
promoting.
has everything
It's
to do.
common sense.
You would think it's common sense, but clearly it's not. So, like, I don't know who has to tell him to scale it back. I don't know if anybody's got the balls to tell him to scale it back. I don't know if his dad is going to say, like, hey, man, according to these numbers, you lost me fucking $8 million last year. You know what I mean? Like,
did he not look confused when he was out there?
Oh, yeah, he looked like he was fucking deer in headlights. Just like, what am I doing here? You know? But again, like, I'm not the decision maker. I'll never be the decision maker. I'll never get hired by Tony Khan. So I don't really give a shit what he does. I just want people to succeed. And that's it. That's my shtick on them.
Shay, you stay very quiet over there. You used to be more vocal. What do you think? We're missing the third
She didn't
voice
fucking
here.
watch last night. How about that?
Yeah, I didn't watch.
She went and saw the Fall Guy.
You didn't watch?
Yeah, no, she didn't watch.
Oh,
but
man.
that's
I didn't watch the pay-per-view either.
and that lies the problem.
Really?
Shay is an avid AEW fan. We've seen that. We've heard it. So for her to choose other things to do instead of sit there in front of your TV for a pay-per-view or a fucking...
We're losing
that
her.
says something.
We're losing her.
Right. That says something. And I'm not knocking Shay for that. I'm just saying...
I am. We're losing her.
Like, look, during football season, I don't watch Raw. I just don't watch Raw. Like, I'll catch up. I'll see what's going on. Right now, I'll watch for 3 hours. I will, because I like WWE. Last night, I turned on AEW. I watched, and I was like, and like I went somewhere else. And then I came back. I was like, oh, Jarek. Like, I'm sitting there waiting for MJF, and I'm waiting for Swerve, and I'm waiting for these guys that I like, like Swerve kicked the show off.
Swerve Ospreay should be good.
Swerve, listen, right, that's going to be good. I root for them. I hope they do well. I wish they would take some advice, and that's it.
Now,
Like,
did you see what Ospreay had said about Ricochet?
Yes, and that's why I think that Ricochet could be on the move. Because Ricochet, bruv, would be fucking nuts. It would be.
Here's my thing, though. I don't think they've done anything wrong with Ricochet. You're not going to put a world champion. He's not going to be
What
the
he's
world
saying
champion.
is you put him in a 3-minute or less tournament thing, and he wins.
Twitter paid WWE a shit ton of money for that.
Yeah, I know how it works, but
So how would you not? Why would you not make?
I think
Ricochet
that would be a
the winner
badge of
that?
honor, if anything. Like,
Yeah.
hey, Twitter paid us a bunch of money. We're going to put the belt on
But
you.
why would you not make Ricochet the winner? Like, that would be, because guess what? If fucking Will Ospreay went to WWE, you would have been probably winning that belt against Ricochet in a 3-minute match. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. He was the Intercontinental Championship. He was Intercontinental Champion. Wasn't he a tag champ at one point?
I think so.
It's not like he didn't
I
win.
always said that his biggest thing was his talking. Like, when he first came onto the scene in WWE, I understand what he's done in the Indies and where he was and all this other shit. But like when he first jumped on, I said, if that dude knows or learns how to talk and puts a little personality behind it, he's unstoppable.
Like, it's either that or he just should have kept the Prince Puma gimmick.
Correct. Like, put him in a fucking mask and just don't even let him talk. But like, and it's not, again, it's some people just aren't built to talk. It's okay. Like, you could be the greatest athlete in the world and be one of the greatest professional wrestlers in the world. Like, for me, I can't get behind a Daniel Bryan promo. But I can sure as shit get behind a Daniel Bryan match.
I couldn't really get behind Brett's promos.
Brett was the biggest fucking crybaby I've ever met.
Yeah, but his promos, I mean, I couldn't get behind them.
Everything else was bullshit.
But in the ring,
everybody in the back.
In the ring, he was excellent to watch.
Of course, he's sold the greatest. Like, there's been so many guys that have come into wrestling that have been amazing athletes that just sucked at talking, and that's okay, right? Like, they hid the fact that you couldn't cut a promo for your life.
X-Pac wasn't a great...
How many fucking promos?
X-Pac wasn't a great promo.
No, he wasn't a great promo. Great fucking worker.
Hell yeah.
I would say, if I had to say, like, off the top of my head, one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time that couldn't cut a promo worth of shit was like Benoit. You're not going to see a long fucking 40-minute Benoit promo unless it was Benoit tribute night and everybody's talking about Benoit. You know what I mean? Like, he just wasn't a talker. He wasn't a good family man either.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but what I'm saying is there are guys out there that can. Basically, what I'm saying is, like, in football, I'll make a football reference. If you play the tight end position, if you can't catch worth the shit, but you can throw a couple blocks, there's a place for you. Yeah. Right? There's a place for you.
If they call it a blocking tight end.
And it's a 12 personnel. Like, he's on the line. He's going to fucking put a hat on a hat. When you're in wrestling, if you're a bad talker but a phenomenal worker, there's a place for you. If you're a phenomenal talker and a bad worker, then there might not be a place for you other than commentary. You know, like, but I just think that there's ways to use these guys. We'll figure it all out as we go. Contracts are coming up. We'll see who does what. Chad Gable's up soon. Ricochet's up soon.
Arn Anderson's gone.
Mark Henry's gone. So there's a lot of people that are free agents per se. I know Mark Henry. That's a mutual thing. I saw his post, and I thought he was gonna salmon colored jacket us and fucking do some kind of heel thing.
Thing is,
he's got so much shit going on that he doesn't need that right now.
But, I mean, it's that. And when they hired him over there, like, I understand he worked with people in the back, and that's great. But it was just, we hired Mark Henry to say we got Mark Henry.
And that was with
no big
that's
plan
the free
for him at all.
spending that those guys are maybe starting to realize, okay, we can't do that anymore. Meaning, when I was contracted with that company Mojo a couple years back, their marketing budget was stupid. The money they were paying me to do a fucking 30-minute show every morning was beyond dumb.
Look at the money.
I'm not going to say no because that's money.
Look at the money they were paying wrestling.
I talked to Nikki the Good about that last night, and wrestling stunk. It stunk. It was never good.
No. How much Mojo was paying Rob to do what he was doing?
Oh, I thought you were talking about wrestling the fucking Barstool guys.
No. To do what he was doing. It's just free spending.
It was just the wrong way to spend your money. And I was a part of that, you know what I mean, in Mojo. But, like, AEW might be turning a corner in that regard of saying, okay, if we're going to pay all this money for fucking Mercedes and we're going to pay all this money for, I don't know, Moxley or Ospreay, like, then we probably can't pay Paul White or we probably can't pay Mark Henry.
To what? And this isn't insulting them, but it was just
right. It was just it was a name brand recognition thing.
You had them on.
They couldn't wait to put, like, let's just say arbitrarily, Mark Henry signed for $300,000 a year. Who knows, right?
Right.
But, like, technically, you spent $300,000 to put a graphic that he's all elite, and that's all it was.
And maybe he was on camera a few times. What was that for?
I don't remember
Dark, when he would, like, come on camera to talk, or
I think it was like Rampage or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
And again.
Few and far between. A show that people really don't watch.
It makes me worry about some of the other guys that they're using on Just Ring of Honor and stuff like that, because they might be on the chopping block eventually when it comes time to ponying up to spend more money on other people. They got to allocate it like a salary cap. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if we're paying up here, then maybe these bottom three got to go.
Maybe they knock you down a tier.
Maybe. There's a lot. Listen, I'm not about to manage his money, nor do I actually care about his spending. I just care about my friends that are down there that are getting paid right now, that it can come to a screeching halt like that.
It seems like Entourage was his favorite show too, because he's like Vinny Chase, just spending the money and then somehow, some way, it'll come back. Whether it's somebody else.
I had a joke. I stayed away from it.
What? No.
Season 9, everybody. Season 8, actually. It's the worst season of them all, but it's because he spun out of control. Listen, that's a show. That'll do it for this week. Listen, if you guys want to check out War on the Shore, it's going down July.
Not if you want to.
The 16th.
Come and check it out.
Yeah, please. We're getting a lot. I think the buzz is starting to really pick up a little bit because, again, we're getting closer and we're getting inquiries from some of the top media sites and shit like that. They want to be involved. I know the Wrestling Classic commented on our card. Malcolm Muscle commented on our card. There's a lot of cool people out there that want to be involved, and I think that it has to be limited. We can't just let everybody in to cover the event, and there's like 15,000 fucking photographers that want to be involved, and they're all in my DMs. I'm like, okay, I gotta fucking pick two. I don't want that. Do you want as many photos as possible? Sure, but I don't want it to look like fucking 1995 WWE when there's fucking 17 fucking cameramen.
That would look pretty cool, though.
It would, but it's at the same
like
time.
every Japanese fight that there is. They're like right there.
It was Fujifilm the entire time, right around the corner. But anyway, so come check out the show. WarOnTheShore.eventbrite.com for tickets and information and all that shit. Follow us on social media, which continues to grow, and we thank everybody. Thank you to people like Matt Cardona, Mandy Sachs. They're starting to reshare a lot of our stuff, so the traction is building. Tickets keep moving. There is a good chance that we will have to turn people away. So if you're watching this and you want to go to the show, go to the show. Get your ticket now. Do not wait.
Shay doesn't want to turn people away because Shay is not a nasty person.
Right.
She will be
I'm
the
not.
face that you see at the front door.
Yeah. I was talking to Shay about that
Maybe
before.
I'll be nasty that day. We'll
Yeah, she's gonna have to put her nasty face on, Mr. Nasty Time.
Oh, no. Damn, Daddy, I didn't know you had titties.
Bagger ain't working. Damn back keep going out. Anyway, that's it. Fosachi, F-O Sachi for Dave Sturchio, Tommy Dee, and Shay. And of course, Officer Payne, we love you, miss you, buddy.
No, we don't.
All right. We'll see you guys next time right here on the Fight Factory podcast.